Okay, we're just flip-flopping a few speeds here, and pretty much that's center there. Pretty much all I'm going to do is move the carriage in. I'm going to use my readout, and we're going to come in 510. Now this is just a pilot drill. And we're going to come out a little bit closer, and then we're going to put the boring head in here, because we want to have the right amount of press for the fit on the shaft. Okay, I got the Crichton, or Crichton, depending on what coast you're on. Boring bar in here. It reads an actual diameter. It's one of the reasons why I really like it. 1 division equals 1,000. That means the diameter. And what I got here is I've got the spindle in free mode, and I've got my gib loose, so I can slightly give it a feed in and rotate it at the same time, because I just want to touch off on the side wall, and I should just lightly see it grab or feel it drag. Okay, right there. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten it. We're just going to go down with a spring cut right now, because we're only a little bit less than a 32nd under the finished diameter there. Give it some RPMs here. Alright, and we're going to run it in auto feed, and we're just on a medium feed rate here. Give it a little bit of lube, and we're going to let that run through. Alright, we moved the table over, because we got a readout locating 0. So we can slide it over the side, and we can snap gauge it, and then we'll go back to the bore here. We got 734 right now on that shaft diameter. We're like 752. So that'd be like, we took 10, or yeah, so it'd be 34, it'd be 44. Should be our next diameter. Okay, we got 744, so we're lacking anywhere from 6 to 6.5 would give us up there around 750 and a half. You know, because we got 752 is pretty strong on that diameter that we have for that the center section of that shaft. So we're going to go ahead and jack in, I'm going to take 6/1000. Alright, we're 750 and a half. And on the shaft here, 752, maybe 752 and a tenth or two. So we're at least a thou and a half press fit for this fit up. All right, we're all set here. We can break this down, clean up our mess here, and we're going to unbolt the dividing head, and we're going to start setting up the K&T mill for broaching the keyway. Alright, we just pulled our gear off that drives our universal head here, and we're getting ready to put on the jumping jack or the slotting head here. And at the same time that I made this blank and set this up to Worcester Gear to actually have it made and then sent out and heat treated, I also made this blank and I heat treated this myself and created the pin drive for the head. And on the back it has the same openings and everything else to hold it in, you know, to drive it, just as I made for this one here. And of course you can't tip it upside down like that, otherwise you'll drop it out. Just alright. The two drives for the two heads that I have for this mill were missing, and both of the heads I had to rebuild. They were pretty sad shape. They just been weathered a lot on the outside, and some of the inside had a little bit of watermarks, but not bad. I was pretty fortunate there. But I still had to spend about $1,000 to get the two drive units. Alright, now that pin sticking out rides in here, and this is a slide right here for the pin, and little greasy and dirty in here. Probably should slide a little bit of grease in there before we start. Actually, oil feeds in there. There's a little oil trough that slides on here. I had to make this this slide here itself. It was broken. I had to redress this dovetail in here, but it's working fine. In fact, actually, I think grab them out of the cupboard in here. I think I still got them. Oh yeah. Now, see if I can get close enough here. Alright, yeah, I think that's close enough. This is the original one in here that was in there, and it's you can see that it was damaged and mistreated. And I made a spare. Of course, this one doesn't have the oil galleys and the holes yet, but it was a spare so that you know, I waste that one out, make it look like this. I've got another backup. May never have to put it in there. But that's kind of that's my habit. One or two extra pieces, and you got backups. Whenever you got downtime, it's downtime that kills you. Alright, there's a couple things that I like to do. First, I get this in neutral so I can spin this freely by hand. And then I go ahead and I bring out these two arms like that. And we kind of play around with what we got here. I think I actually figured this out last time. There's no set method because I normally about 1.25 inches out from center, and right in that ballpark. Alright. Yeah, couldn't ask to be much closer than that. Alright, then we lock it down there. Okay, I lock the head on there, and then we can get rid of the chain here. Now the rest of this will slide in freely, and I do like to Put a little zap on there like that. Alright, and now we can slide it in freely. Now it gives you the freedom to go ahead and engage that pin. And it's a little ball nosed on the end there, and it slides right in there. Now I can tell if it's engaged. No backlash. If the pin falls in that slot, it rattles back and forth. Alright? So, and I can turn this thing by hand. Actually, upstroke takes a little bit more than my hand can handle there. Alright, we'll get an Allen wrench, and we got to set these up here and tighten that down, and then lock that other nut back there. And then we're going to start getting our things set up here on the table. Alright, we got those tight. Alright, we put it in gear here. We already know we're at the bottom of the stroke there, so we can go ahead and start it. We're going to check our run. Okay, we'll adjust our stroke and everything else on it, and I'm going to get my grease gun and grease it up. Got an oil cup here. I get some oil in there because that goes down and that feeds that pivot pin. Alright, I'm going to start this, and I want you to look at this, and I want to actually I have it a trivia question, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you anyway. But I want you to notice. Okay, notice how slow it comes back and how fast it goes down. Okay, it means I'm turning the motor backwards. On a shaper or a planer or a slotting head, it's all slow and power, and then a fast return, and then slow and power, fast return. Alright, now watch, I'll reverse. Watch that again. Okay, now I'm going to reverse the gears. Okay, now look at it. Power's down and speed's back. Okay? Alright, we're ready to go now. Alright, so we got our dividing head up here in the direction, and we got this indicator just mag based off of there so that we can have an indicator, a quick one to run back and forth here. Alright, and we got it square, so now we're just tightening up the two front feet here, and we can pop this off of here now. And we're going to put in the rear foot here to support it. So we're actually holding this with 3 toe clamps. So we're sure that it's not going to go anywhere. Alright. Okay, now we're going to rotate the head around here, and we got an indicator over here that says 90, and that's a good place to start. And just like when we turn the other head and we locate it on the table, we're going to locate this in a straight line. We don't want that keyway to go down or up. Alright, we already know this is not going to go side to side because we've got that square, and this is straight line square with the milling machine. So all we have to do is worry about that down plane. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this into slow gear. And we're going to get the indicator on here, and we're going to travel back and forth on the table.